Hello, grade 12s. Welcome back to the channel, Science Therapy, hosted by the one and only science therapist, Uabudiwa Sos Ugobela Mets. And without any further ado, let's look at this question that we have here. Okay, so before we look at the question, I just want to share with you something that I've observed throughout the years, mostly, especially from the COVID year, is that we have noted that now they no longer set new question papers. So it is now rare to find new questions. So most of the questions are just cut and paste from previous exam papers. And then we've been noting the trend a lot to see that there's been laziness within the group that sets the papers, which to you, it can be an advantage in the fact that if you have to practice as many questions as possible, then it gives you a better chance of excelling in your exam. So this means that any student who is willing to do what I'm going to share right now can be an A student. And then this is not just a front, this is not clickbait, this is actually a fact. Because if you can check, if you can just right now at the moment that you are watching this video, you dedicate yourself to just having an exam bank, download all the papers from 2017 and then to 2023. So whether it's your June papers, your prelim papers, your November papers, and then just set out right now that you're going to be practicing with those papers. So by the end of the year, you might not have finished all those papers, but then with much more dedication and commitment to that, you might find that you have done a lot more questions from that exam bank. Now, what you will note is that when you are busy doing those questions, you will see that the questions are either similar or exactly the same, right? So here to just prove whatever that I'm talking about, I have a paper here from 2019. This was a prelim paper from Gauteng 2019. As you can see the code here. Now, looking at these questions that I'm going to mark here, we have 1.1.1 and just look at it how it is, and then we have 1.1.3. Now, this was a paper from 2019, but then there was already a paper that was written in 2017 prelim. And what you're going to see here is going to shock you, right? And then now it's going to open you to something that might even change your life, right? So this will be a paradigm shift. Look at this. When you observe these questions here, we are given 1.1.4. Look at this question here, and then look at 1.1.2. These are exactly the same questions, but then from different years. This was from 2017. Now, the person responsible for setting the paper for 2019 saw these questions, and then he decided to take them exactly as they are. We are not talking about a question that is similar, whereby they just change the numbers. We are talking about a question exactly as it is, being taken, being extracted from 2017. And then now you have it in 2019. Just like that. You have those two questions. You have those two questions exactly as they are. Right. So what am I trying to say? It is possible that from your question papers that you're going to write, they will take some of the questions that were written from years back, from those past papers. So that means a person who will be practicing from exam past papers will have a better chance of excelling in an exam than someone who just goes out there, takes a textbook, practice whatever that he practices, and then hoping that the Lord will be with him during the exam. Now, to better your chances of passing, you just need to do a lot of questions. I always tell my learners that this has nothing to do with being smart or being the genius of the class. Always the learner that comes out to be the top learner in class is the learner that dedicates their time into practicing past exam papers. They just never stop. So they practice a paper from 2017. They practice a paper from 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So they just out there practicing as many question papers as they possibly can. That's just a method. Because you see, even if the question does not appear exactly, but then you know it will be some kind of similar to the question that you saw in one of the previous papers that you practice with. So basically here, anyone can be an A student. It all depends on how much time you are willing to put into practicing past exam papers. So if you are there busy with the textbook, please put it away. Go grab your exam papers. Make an exam bank. Have a folder of an exam bank, whether you decide to print those papers out or you just keep them in PDF. Just make sure you have an exam bank from 2017 all the way to 2023. That's my best bet there. And then start to practice those questions up until you write your final exam. Then I guarantee that you'll come back and thank me on this channel. That's just a method. Okay, so now we have question 1. It says solve for x. So we're just gonna go and say 2x squared plus 3 is equals to 8x. So we already know, take this 8x over to this side. That's 2x squared minus 8x, and then plus 3 is equals to 0. So at this point, we say our A is 2, our B is negative 8, and our C is positive 3. Then we need to write our quadratic formula. This is B squared minus 4AC over 2A. So this is a negative, and then we have negative 8 there, plus minus. So that's negative 8 square minus 4. Our A value is 2, and then our C value is 3. All over 2 times 2. So our solutions are x is equals to 3.58, or x is equals to 0.42. Right. So done with that one. And then we have 1.1.2. That's 4x minus 2x, and then x minus 3 less than or equal to 0. So this is 4x minus 2x squared, and then this will give us plus 6x less than 0. So we have negative 2x squared, 4x plus 6x, that's plus 10x less than or equal to 0. Now that we can see that these two numbers are divisible by 2, can just go ahead and divide throughout by negative 2. So this would be x squared and then minus 5x. But then remember, dividing by negative changes the inequality sign. So now the inequality sign will face the other direction. So it will be greater than or equal to. Then now we can factor out the x. So we have x minus 5, and then greater or equal to 0. So if we were to treat this as an equation, we'd have x is equals to 0, or x is equals to 5. Now, those are our critical values. Starting with the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 5. But we already know at this point that if our inequality sign is facing that side, it's greater than, then that means our solutions have to be separate like that. So this has to be x less than or equal to 0 or x greater or equal to 5. So you can watch my first video. I will drop the link here on the question that I did for 2017 on equations and inequalities, whereby I explain this, right? I explain how you get the solutions to inequalities. Then we have 1.1.3. So again, this is the same question that we saw from 2017. This is 2 to the exponent of x minus 5 times 2 to the exponent of x, then plus 1 is equals to negative 144. So we said 2 to the exponent of x minus 5, and then that's 2 to the exponent of x times 2 to the exponent of 1 is equals to negative 144. Right. Then look at this. We have our common factor here, common factor. So we can factor out that common factor, 2 to the exponent of x, then we'll be left with 1 here, and then this is 5 times 2 to the exponent of 1 is equals to negative 144. So this is 2 to the exponent of x, 1 minus f, minus this, the 5 times 10 is 10. 5 times 2 meant to say is 10, and then 1 minus 10 is negative 9, is equals to negative 144. So we divide both sides by negative 9. This is 2 to the exponent of x is equals to 16. And then writing it in exponential form, this will be 2 to the exponent of 4. But now we have the same basis, so we drop the exponents. X is equals to 4. Right. Then we have 1.2. It says if f of 2 is equals to 0 and f when x is negative 6 is equal to 0, determine an equation of f of x in the form of fx is equals to x squared plus bx plus c. So for this part, I guess we must find the values for b and c. So we can just do this. Now remember they're saying your 2 and your negative 6 are your x-intercepts, right? Because look at your y is 0. Right, I was supposed to just do it like this, x minus 2, and then x plus 6. Then if I multiply this, this was x squared, and then it was going to give me plus 4x, and then minus 12. Oh, smart, smart. Then for 1.3, we have solved for x and y simultaneously. We are given 2x plus y is equals to 17. This is equation 1. And then x times y is equals to 8. This is equation 2. So we can just go ahead and make y the subject of the formula from equation 1. We will have y is equals to 17 minus 2x. This is equation 3, right? So at this point, we can say substitute equation 3 into the equation we haven't used, equation 2. So where I see y, I'll be substituting this expression. So this is x, and then bracket 17 minus 2x is equals to 8. Then I will have 17x minus 2x squared. Then I can bring over this 8. Minus 8 is equals to 0. Now rearranging, that's negative 2x squared plus 17x minus 8 is equals to 0. I can divide throughout by negative 1. So this will give me positive 2x squared minus 17x plus 8 equal to 0. Then when I do this, this is supposed to say 2x, and then I have plus 1 here, and then this is x minus 8. So this will definitely give me that. So I have minus 1 here. and then equal to 8. So my x is 1 over 2, or my x is equals to 8. Then I can find my x and y values, my y values. So from this, I have y is equal to 17 minus 2 and then half. That's 17 minus 1, it's 16. So I have 1 over 2 is to 16. Or I have y is equals to 17 minus 2 times 8. So that's 17 minus 16, that's 1. So that's 8 is to 1. Right. And then for this one, this is nature of roots. I have 2mx squared is equals to 3x minus 8. They say determine the values of m for which the roots of the equations are non-real. So if the roots are non-real, that means the discriminant is less than 0. So I need to rearrange this first. 2mx squared minus 3x plus 8 equal to 0. So my a is 2m, and then my b is negative 3, and then my c is 8. My discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So I need to say b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Then b is negative 3 squared, and then 4, 2m, and then c is 8 less than 0. Then this is 9. Negative 4 multiplied by 2, that's negative 8. But negative 8 multiplied by 8, that's negative 64 m, and then less than 0. So I can take this one and transpose it over to that side. That's 64m, and then less than negative 9. If I divide both sides by negative 64, the inequality sign will now change direction. This would be m greater than 9 divided by 64. In simplest form, that's just 9 over 64. Right. So these are the values of m for which the roots of the equations are non-real. So it's when m is greater than 9 over 64. That's how you was just supposed to solve that one. So, yep.